Hey everyone, Chris Stoltz coming at you once again from the Muppet Stuff Museum. Another RetroCon is now in the books, so let me show you what I picked up. If you've watched any of my other RetroCon videos, you know that RetroCon is the largest toy show in the Philadelphia area, and this year it did not disappoint. And of course, once again, I wasn't just looking for Muppet stuff, but selling Muppet stuff and more as well. This year, I expanded the booth to 3 booths, with 2 booths being almost exclusively Muppet related. But of course, my Muppet stuff wasn't the only Muppet stuff to be found at the show. My buddy Scott had a whole bunch of Muppet stuff for sale, including Muppet ornaments, greeting cards, puzzles, books, action figures, vinylmations, coloring books, comic books, and much more. And I'll show you what I picked up from Scott's booth later on, but first, let me show you what other Henson-related items I spotted throughout the show. Like this mint condition plush Kermit sitting in a director's chair, a Muppet Babies baby Kermit riding a horse rattle, a large selection of Sesame Street PVC figures, some fairly rare Labyrinth cups by Sweetheart. They feature Sir Didymus, Ludo, Hoggle, and a Fiery. I also spotted these ideal Storytime talking plush of Big Bird, Cookie Monster, and Oscar the Grouch, all in almost pristine condition. There was also these Sesame Street ceramic figures, a Rolf Sigma mug, a ceramic Cookie Monster bank, this Cookie Monster, Ernie, and Big Bird that I'm pretty sure are part of a larger set, but I'm not sure what they go to, so please leave a comment down below if you do. There's also a whole bunch of Muppet High and some pretty rare Baby Kermit PVCs. I also spotted these Oral-B Muppet toothbrushes, a very rare UK exclusive Statler and Waldorf PVC, a Roosevelt Franklin puppet, this Mitten Box AT&T Kermit the Frog phone, some Muppet action figures from Diamond Select Toys and Palisades, a Fisher-Price Kermit the Frog beanbag, a Fisher-Price Miss Piggy dress-up doll, a Miss Piggy Latch-a-Rug set, an original Dark Crystal lunchbox, a whole bunch of different variations of Tickle Me Elmo, a small Miss Piggy plush by Sababa, as well as Noshing Nostalgia's booth, which featured a whole bunch of handmade wood-burnished Muppet items, like this Moving Right Along ornament featuring Kermit and Fozzie, the Swedish chef saying "Bork, bork, bork," along with the Swine Trek logo, a whole bunch of ornaments featuring characters from Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas and The Christmas Toy, ornaments from the Muppet Christmas Carol, Fraggle Rock, including the Trash Heap and Sprocket, and of course, the Trash Heap has spoken. Nyah! There was also hand-drawn prints of Muppet Babies, The Christmas Toy, and Muppet Christmas Carol, as well as wood art featuring the hands and knockers from Labyrinth, and a sign for Doc Bullfrog's Riverside Rest from Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. You can find her online store in the links down below. Our friend Dave Perillo was once again at the show, and this year he brought prints of his Emmett Otter's Frogtown Hollow Jubilee Jug Band posters. And he was gracious enough to save an artist proof of both versions for me, so I picked up both the regular and wood variant. Of course, he also had prints of his Dark Crystal and River Bottom Nightmare Band posters as well. And you can also find links to his store in the description down below. There was also other people wearing Muppet shirts besides me, and also some Muppet cosplayers as well. Like this Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem shirt, worn by our friend Vicky. We also saw this cute little girl dressed as Sarah from Labyrinth, who came into the booth and said, "Miss Piggy, Miss Piggy, Miss Piggy, Miss Piggy, Miss Piggy." And it was just so cool to see a young fan so into the Muppets. That's what we need. Young fans getting into the Muppets, because that's what's going to make the Muppets last. Hopefully, she'll never grow out of it and become a big kid just like the rest of us. I should mention a bunch of the Cinema Sickness crew was also in attendance, including the Jersey Geek himself, Booth Babe Greg, Down to Movies Rick, Brian from Big Dog Toys, Renee and Todd from the Rat Stash, Retro Rest Stop himself, Dave, and our buddy John, who I have to give a special shout out because he was there helping me watch the booth. And of course, we were selling a bunch of rare Labyrinth and Dark Crystal items, Palisade action figures, some Sigma pieces, some rare Playtex Muppet sipping cups, Muppet Band-Aids, Muppet Hot Wheels, a Muppet Treasure Island Viewmaster set, some Fisher-Price Great Muppet Caper puzzles, a Sideshow Link Hogthrob bust, and this Miss Piggy ceramic cookie jar. Voiceover actress Katie Lee was at the show, and she signed a Muppet Babies sell sheet for me as her character, Baby Rolf, who she provided the voice for the entire run of the series. So you can see here it says, "Far out, Katie Lee, Baby Rolf," because that was Baby Rolf's big catchphrase on that show. Far out. So now I'm looking forward to getting all the other Muppet Babies voiceover actors to sign this sell sheet and then hang it up in the museum. Katie Lee also has a podcast called Tell You Later, featuring her and Will Ryan, and you can find a link to it in the description down below. Okay, so now let me show you what I picked up from the show. Of course, right next to us was Dave, who was doing a huge blowout of toys, games, and everything else that wasn't media. So I grabbed this Big Bird puzzle, which features Big Bird cutting out people in construction paper. This 24-piece puzzle was released by Milton Bradley in 1978. I've been eyeing this up at his booth for a while now, and he keeps tempting me saying, "Hey, look at this Big Bird puzzle. You know you want it, you know you want it." But with the deals he was offering, I finally picked it up. Along with this Rock and Rhyme Elmo, released by Playskool, which is owned by Hasbro in 2020. Still brand new in the box. The box is a little dented up, but for $5, yep, just a full $5, I had to grab this Elmo because he's rocking. Rocking me out of $5, that is. And yes, I did pick up the Miss Piggy Latch-A-Rug set because it was brand new in mint condition, still sealed. I mean, how could I pass up a Miss Piggy Latch-A-Rug set that I'm never going to latch a rug about? Released in 1979 by Columbia Minerva. Both Columbia and Charon released a whole bunch of kits like this in the late 70s and early 80s. I have a few still mint in my collection, and now I have this Miss Piggy Latch-A-Rug to go with them. The rug features Miss Piggy with a flowery hat holding a rose. It's fun, fast, and easy to do, which must be true because it says so right on the box. I already mentioned all the great items found at Noshing Nostalgia's booth, but she also gave me one of her greeting cards as well. This one featuring the characters from A Christmas Toy. Here we see Ditz, Belmont, Balthazar, Rugby Tiger, Mew, and Apple. Old friends, new friends, hoping we'll always be here with each other together on Christmas Day. Which of course was written for The Christmas Toy, then reused during A Muppet Family Christmas. Our friend Patricia was also there attending the show, and she brought me something that she found while thrifting, which is this giant 1,000-piece A Muppet Christmas Party puzzle put out by Springbook in 1980. Still brand new and factory sealed. On the back it says, "A Muppet Christmas Party. The Muppets went out riding on a frosty winter day. Through snowy fields they glided in their one-horse open sleigh. They sang some Christmas carols, and Fozzie told some jokes, and everyone who saw them said, 'What jolly merry folks.' We're going to a party," Kermit shouted as they passed. "Everyone will be there, the entire Muppet cast. Why don't you come along and join us? You don't have to bring a gift. Come on, hop in and take a ride. We'll give your heart a lift." Their little sleigh just couldn't hold the new friends they had made. By the time they reached the party, they were leading a parade. "Hooray for friends at Christmas," Kermit said as they went in. "The more we have, the merrier, so let the fun begin." There was dancing, there was singing, there were Christmas trees galore. When Miss Piggy did a solo, everyone cried encore. The monster did a soft shoe while Animal played a drum. And all the people in the room were really glad they'd come. So if you should go out walking on a frosty winter day and you hear the Muppets singing as they're riding in their sleigh, please don't be shy, just chime right in and join them in their song, for they're going to a party and want you to come along. Which is a nice little poem by Pat Canigan. Of course, Springbook is a division of Hallmark, so you could probably find this in a Hallmark store in the early 80s. But wow, it's great to see it's still brand new and factory sealed. So thanks again to our friend Patricia for finding this and dropping it off to us at the show. As you saw, I spotted a booth with an assortment of Sesame Street PVC figures. And I couldn't pass up grabbing this Cookie Monster handing me a cookie, because it's Cookie Monster handing me a cookie. Prairie Dawn holding a flower, and a Honker PVC. How often do you see Honker merchandise, let alone a Honker PVC? It's pretty rare. So when I saw this guy, I just had to pick him up because, I mean, it's a Honker PVC. You never see these guys. So of course I had to pick him up. As I mentioned, Brian from Big Dog's Toy Chest was also there, and he gifted me this Abacadabby PVC for the museum. And once again, the majority of my Muppet pickups came from my friend Scott's booth, where I picked up this full set of Muppet Wizard of Oz medium-sized plush. I say medium-sized plush because these were put out in various sizes, including a small version, which I have already in the museum, these medium-sized ones, slightly larger size, as well as gigantic ones that are about 4 feet tall. As you can see, they all still have their tags and are in mint condition. So here we have Gonzo as the Tin Man, Miss Piggy as Glenda, the Good Witch, Fozzie as the Cowardly Lion, and Kermit as the Scarecrow. These were produced by Namco in 2005 and were originally only available at the Times Square Macy's in New York City to help promote the Muppets Wizard of Oz TV special. I also picked up a whole bunch of Muppet greeting cards to fill in my Muppet greeting card collection, which were all part of American Greetings' Forget-Me-Not line of greeting cards put out in the early 90s. So first up we have Kermit saying, "I don't always sit here thinking of you. Sometimes I fall off. If someone asks your age, make a noise like a frog and fib it, fib it. Happy birthday." I think Fozzie Bear wrote that one. "Howdy, partner. No special reason for this card. It just seemed kind of silly to send you an empty envelope." Do you know what sane, sensible, sober people do on their birthdays? I didn't think so. Happy birthday anyway. Just think, once we were perfect strangers, but then fate stepped in, and out of all the millions and millions of people in the world, our paths crossed. Gulp. Now what? Yikes. Next are a few cards featuring Miss Piggy. Moi wanted to get you something nice for your birthday, but I couldn't find a single thing. They were all married. Have a happy birthday anyway. Oh, I get it. A single thing. Clever. Remember, I'm here if you need a shoulder pad to cry on. This was the late 80s, early 90s after all. You were always there when my luck runs out. You were always there when things go wrong. You were always there when I'm sad and blue. Are you a jinx or what? Yeah, I was going to say, if that person's always there when things go wrong, yeah, maybe it is them. Here are a few cards featuring Gonzo. I bought your birthday card at the new drive-in card shop, and it cost me $2,013.25. It wasn't a drive-in card shop until I drove into it. I hope Gonzo has good insurance. The world's a better place because you're in it. A little crazier maybe, but better. I'm not sure why, but this card is really speaking to me. Next, we have a few cards featuring Fozzie. Hi, which features an image of Fozzie from the Great Muppet Caper with a lobster on his nose. Was that a deleted scene that I missed? How are things on your end? Good, I don't have a lobster on my nose. Simon says, have a happy birthday. Simon says, do something nice for yourself today. Now open this card and take out the $20 bill. Uh-oh, you didn't wait for Simon Says, so there's no $20 bill. Man. Here's a card featuring Rolf. Hope you're not embarrassed by a card that says something warm and mushy. Oatmeal. Of course, it's warm and mushy. Finally, we have a card featuring Dr. Bunsen Honeydew and his faithful assistant, Beaker. Think you're getting old? Then just take off your clothes, stand in front of a mirror, and ask yourself if that's the body of a middle-aged person. And if it isn't, call the police, because there's a naked stranger standing where your mirror should be. Happy birthday. And that is some really good advice. Last, but certainly not least, I picked up this Kermit figurine put out by Sony Creative in the late 90s. It features Kermit playing his banjo on the log, as well as his entire swamp. As you can see, it features a whole bunch of lily pads, some tall grass, and is just a really nicely done figure. Unfortunately, while this was a licensed release, it doesn't tell you exactly when it was released. However, I do know that the Sony Creative items only featured Kermit and were exclusively available in Japan, and are incredibly rare and hard to find today. So that's going to do it for this look at the items I picked up from this year's RetroCon. Please be sure to like and subscribe. Please leave a comment down below and let me know what your favorite item from this video was. Please be sure to follow us on all our social media channels, and I'll see you next time from the Muppet Stuff Museum. But not Meteor for some reason. Maybe she's a little spaced out and missed her call time for the photo shoot. You get it? Spaced out because she's a space toy.